virtual meeting language. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 orders imposing limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Easthampton Board of Public Works will be conducted via remote participation. Michelle, can we have a roll call attendance for who's with us tonight?
Sure. Thomas Malsbury,
Present.
Austin Sanders,
Present.
David Fagnan,
Present.
All right.
all present.
I'm going to make a motion to open the Board of Public Works meeting for October 21st, 2020 at 5:03 p.m. via remote participation.
Second the motion to open the meeting.
All those in favor, Thomas Malsbury,
Yes.
Austin Sanders,
Yes.
David Fagnan.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Motion passed.
this meeting is open. First agenda item is public speak. I do see we have one other member of the public on our Zoom call. If you have anything you'd like to address the board that's not on tonight's agenda, feel free to unmute yourself. If not, we will proceed. All right. Item number 2 on the agenda is the mayor speak. The mayor will not be joining us tonight, so we'll move on to item number 3, approval of the September 16th, 2020 minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes as provided?
Yes.
All right. We'll make a motion to approve the minutes as received.
There's a very minor, there's a typo in the director's report.
Okay.
Water department has been doing Cooper and lead testing.
Copper.
Well, yeah.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the minutes pending that correction.
I realize how minor it is, but yeah.
No, I'm glad you read
That's
them.
okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Anyone
I will
care to that?
second that motion.
Thank you, David.
All those in favor, Thomas Malsbury,
Yes.
Austin Sanders,
Yes.
David Fagnan,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right. Item number 4 on our agenda is Williston has made a proposal for a raised speed table and pedestrian crossing at the Park Center Athletics Center, or Park Street Athletic Center. We received a copy of their preliminary plans and a letter stating sort of a record of incidents, accidents, and near misses in the vicinity as to why they'd like to install the structures. Have everyone have a chance to review that, and I'd like to have an open discussion about that if anyone has any objections or questions or any other thoughts.
I think
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I reviewed the information provided. Yes. Mhm. So is this, yeah, it's just in that one location there. I mean, it makes sense. I don't have any objections to it. I assume the planning board approved this already, however.
Greg, can you give us a little history on where in the process this is and what the board's role
Yep.
in it is?
So I don't believe that this needs to go in front of the planning board for approval. It only would need to be approved by the Board of Public Works. It's just a change in the public way.
Okay.
And one thing that the DPW would like to ask Williston, if we're going to approve this request, is that they mill and overlay Park Street from Greenwood Court to what was formerly, I'm drawing a blank. What's the street there that cuts through that they just put the new
Brewster Ave.
Brewster Avenue. Yes, sorry.
Right, right.
So that was one request we had. They opened Park Street to tie in the new water main that they ran down Brewster, and it's that trench is still full of binder and has not been final paved yet. And with the impact they're going to have on Park Street by installing this, we thought it'd be fair to ask that they do a 2-inch mill and overlay from Brewster to Greenwood Court. Should the DPW grant their request to install this, as it's going to be it will cause an issue for us with plowing that we'll have to deal with every storm. And one other thing we would like to see in there is something in writing from them that any ongoing maintenance, whether it be painting, cracking, damage from a plow, any financial impact be absorbed by Williston, as far as maintaining it and keeping the raised crosswalk up going forward, or the speed table up going forward, that it not have to be absorbed by the city.
Okay. I mean, I don't know traffic design. My initial thoughts of looking at this is, I understand the speed table is where it is based on where the catch basins are, based, for drainage purposes. It still seems as though the crosswalk is unprotected from traffic accelerating out of town.
Mhm.
Is there any mechanism for review that would place the crosswalk on the speed table? So I know it's not ideal because I think they want the crosswalk lined up with the exit from the athletic center.
Yes.
So my thoughts are, if it needs to be where it is there any benefit to a speed table, I guess, to the north also to protect it and maybe the other crosswalk that is on this design to sort of shelter them from both directions? But I mean, I have no objections. I mean, this was designed by someone, but it still seems to leave the crosswalk vulnerable from one direction to me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my other question is, I know, in the past, the city has not had any speed bumps or tables like this, but I believe there's also some going in with the Ferry Street development.
Union Street. When Union Street reconstructed, will help you.
Okay.
And I think just kind of the long and short of it is the traffic design and the way roads are shaped in America is changing. And
I guess what I was getting to was, I think if we're going to start to have these in the city, we should have some similarities between them. So all structures are sort of built to the same. So
yeah, just some uniformity.
Uniformity. I'm sorry, that was the word I was trying to look for. So as these come into the city, they're not one-offs. They're sort of a standard that a driver passing through Easthampton could recognize them, and they're all marked the same, and signage is the same, and sort of the same elevations and whatnot. So do we have any design specs on the Union Street ones yet, or it's still way too preliminary?
They're in there, but nothing to the spec level of that would,
Okay.
Real deep.
So I guess if we did approve this moving forward, it would be, the template we'd be looking at for marking and signing them as the first one in the city.
So there's one speed table. I'm looking at the drawing, the Park Street drawing.
Yes.
There's not two there, is there?
No, they're proposing one just
One
to the south.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Yeah, they're proposing to remove the one that sort of goes diagonal from the corner. That's a crosswalk they're going to remove.
Yeah.
To the north of that, they're proposing installing a speed table and relocating the crosswalk in line with the exit from the athletic center.
Right. Okay.
My only thought was that, people accelerating out of town before they come into the speed table are not slowing down for the crosswalk where they've moved it. It seems ideally the crosswalk would either be on the speed table or sheltered between some, but like I said, I'm not a traffic engineer, so.
Right.
Greg, do you know how early the signage for the speed table would be before it? You know, in theory, people would be slowing down before that crosswalk.
I do not. I'd have to look into that, Thomas, and get back to you.
It shows it on there, actually.
Oh, speed table sign ahead. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't say distance.
No, but it is on the far side. It is on the north side of the crosswalk that I was.
it is. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Is this going to, since this is not controlled by a stop sign, this crosswalk, are they proposing any rapid beacons on this one, like they've done on other ones we've granted?
Yeah, I think it does have RFBs on it,
Okay,
and
that's good too. Yeah, I mean, I have no objections to them doing it with the caveats that you, that Greg, you've said the DPW would be interested in.
with no representative from Williston on the call, should we table it and see if, or would the board?
I think,
vote?
I think we should indicate that the board is not opposed to this. We have a few questions and the DPW has some caveats. I don't know if you would like to formally write up what the DPW is requesting of them.
Sure.
And get that to them, and either they can join us at our next meeting or respond affirmative that that's acceptable to them or not, you know.
Okay.
I guess we as a board, you know, if they're not acceptable to that, we as a board will have to decide if we think it's still worth it, and the DPW, you know, we'll weigh the options of where we're at, I think. But anyone else have any questions, comments, or proposals for how to handle this?
No, I think Greg brought up some great points about the plowing and who's going to be responsible. Undoubtedly, there's going to be some damage at some point, Greg, wouldn't you suspect?
Oh yeah, over time it'll deteriorate over time, and I don't think that you know, Easthampton taxpayers should be on the hook to maintain it if Williston is requesting it to be installed.
What is I know we granted other, not speed tables, but we granted some, I think, additional crosswalks or just the rapid beacon flashers that they wanted to install. Do we have a similar clause with them that they are maintaining them, or were those donated to the city on Williston's behalf?
As far as I know, the RFBs that on Park Street were installed by Williston are maintained by Williston.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion that Greg will prepare a letter of response with the requirements that the DPW would have to allow this, and we'll put it on our agenda for next meeting and review their response or their presence. So.
Is that a motion?
I believe
Thomas?
it, yes.
I second the motion for the letter to be addressed to Greg.
All right. All those in favor of the motion, Thomas Malsbury,
Yes.
Austin Sanders,
Yes.
David Fagnan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Item number 5 on our report is the director's report. I guess, you know, with our cancellation of our last meeting due to weather, what's the status of the DPW in the last month, Greg?
All right. As you probably saw, you may have seen we put the variable message boards out. Those came in a couple weeks ago, and we've been able to use those to communicate with the town. We're going to close Mountain Road on Thursday and Friday from 9 to 2 each day. get all the guardrail mowing, catch basin cleaning, litter pickup. There's some trees we're going to have trimmed on Friday. We're going to have a lot of work going on up there the next couple days, starting tomorrow. Highway department's been busy they put a nice shim coat on Ferry Street just to kind of help limp that road along for the next couple of years. The city council approved funding for the use of the stabilization funds for the Parsons and Ferry Street intersection redesign. It's not entirely approved, but I think got through finance last week, and it's working its way through the process. So we'll be able to use some cannabis impact money for that intersection redesign at Parsons and Ferry. We get a lot of complaints and have had trouble at that intersection, and in all the work that's been done on Ferry Street. It'll be nice to get that redesigned and tied in with the new work that the Mass Works grant did at Ferry and Pleasant. So but that's a couple, it'll take several months for the design and the works, probably a year out. So we put a shim on Ferry Street just to alleviate some of the pothole issues in areas that we have to patch a lot over there. And they moved from there into Industrial Drive and trying to get what's happened on Industrial Drive is the road sort of sinking and the basins aren't, and the road just really needs some attention. So we've been trying to Band-Aid Industrial Drive the best we can. We got a few complaints about the condition of that road. So, but no sooner were they working on that, and we had all the wind come through last week, and that really threw a wrench in the stuff we were planning. So, or what was it, 2 weeks ago now? But we've recovered from that and got pretty much everything back to normal. We had a lot of trouble with the wind, with the trees coming down in the park. Took out power to the Daly Field wastewater pump station. We were on generator power there for several days. It knocked out power to the Nonotuck well. I mean, pretty much everything through the park was offline for a few days, but luckily our systems are built very resilient. So we were able to operate without, I don't think anybody noticed any service interruptions. So that's always good. We do have a couple paving projects getting started. We're going to pave from the list that you guys, I believe you guys approved it earlier this year. And we're going to pave South Street from Main to Crescent and Center Street from Park to Railroad. The sewer department's been out this week on Center Street, readjusting and realigning catch basins and manholes to get them kind of shored up so that we can do a 2-inch mill and overlay there. And Palmer Paving's hoping to do that for us within the next couple of weeks, both of those short paving projects. We just wanted to try to get some paving on the books this season. And luckily we were able to get a Chapter 90 approval in place for that. And Palmer was able to get us on their schedule. So it'd be nice to see those 2 streets get done. We're also going to do some crack sealing on Hendrick Street from Holyoke to Plain Street, to try to prolong the life of the road there. Last week we had a sanitary survey. Mass DEP comes through the water department every 3 years and just kind of does a top to bottom inspection and review of our operation. And everything's in pretty good shape there. They're going to be giving us a report. They told us not to expect the report prior to January 1st. So it may be sometime in January when we actually get the written report, but a few things they want us to do, nothing too major. And we'll be, we've already picked away at some of it. So we are resuming hydrant flushing. We lifted the water use restriction back first part of October, and we've been going, the guys have been trying to get out as much as they can. We have to get every hydrant flushed once the entire water system flushed annually. So they're hard at work getting that done right now. And that's pretty much all I've got for right now, but it's quite a bit and there's a lot going on. So
yeah. Thank you for being on top of all that.
Yep. The sewer department's been busy too with the engineers looking at getting a lot of the drainage outfalls mapped out and marked so that we can start permit compliance that we're on the hook for now, and map about 40. We're going to try to get 40 done this fall, and I think they were up to like 15 or 20 when we pulled them off to get onto the catch basin work on Center Street. So they had to do a little bit on South Street too to get ready for the pavement. I think we got one more structure to redo there.
Greg,
And yeah,
quick question. This is just timetable. Is there a timetable for reopening Ferry Street, or is that closed for the foreseeable future?
what we're looking at now is November 1st.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. It was just
We're-
information wise. Yeah.
we're pushing and we're trying. I mean, that's a big inconvenience to a lot of people, including on DPW, just because we got to, to get to the wastewater plant, you got to drive across town. So,
Yeah.
The final paving is done. They paved over a couple water boxes that they worked on and got raised up today, and it's basically just line painting. And then Verizon has not moved their equipment off of the poles and into the underground, into the conduit that was installed. So we're stuck. There's a little bit of waiting for them with the pole removal, but it's I don't think anyone knows exactly when Verizon's going to do that. Verizon seems to be giving the developer and the city different answers, and every time they say it changes. So I don't have an exact table, but we did. We were installing some temporary yield signs on the new roundabout today. So that's kind of a step towards getting it opened, but we're trying to assist them as much as we can to get that road open back up. So I'm hoping by November, probably that, I think November 2nd, I think is a Monday. That'll probably be the official day we're able to open it back up.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, if no other board members or public have any questions for Greg, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Second the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Thomas Mulsbury,
Yes.
Austin Sanders,
Yes.
David Fagnan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you all for your time this evening, and we will see you at our next meeting in November. Michelle, do
November
you-
7th, or
All right.
4th, sorry, November 4th.
November 4th.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys Ferry Street's open.
All right, we'll
We'll
look
know.
forward to it.
You'll have seen it, but
Have a good night, all.
You,
Good night.
You
you too.
also.
Thanks
Good
to
night.
everybody.
Yep.